So how are you? You well?
Yeah, super good. I mean, it's festival season, so for us, things just started the production.
Yeah.
So it's always exciting. It's the beginning of the new edition. For us, it starts way before the
The
start of the
actual
festival.
thing. Yeah. How long have you
Starts
been
now.
so you're there now? You're in St. Martin now.
Absolutely. Yeah, got here last Wednesday, like a week ago. Yeah.
Last Wednesday. Oh, Olivia's joining as well.
Oh.
So you've definitely are you from Montreal?
Originally, yeah,
Hi,
from Montreal. Yeah.
Hi, Olivia.
how are you?
I'm very well, thank you. How are you?
I'm good. Just there we go. Okay.
Yeah. Nice to finally see you.
You too.
You guys have decoration. I feel like I'm in a milk box.
Julian, you are the decoration.
Yeah, thank you, sweetheart.
We don't need anything else. We don't need anything else.
Absolutely.
Are you both well?
Is that a good decoration, like carrot juice?
I love it. Are they paying for this sponsorship?
Yeah, exactly. Sponsored by
Sponsored by my mom.
Oh my God, it's true though. Your mom and
You gotta
dad.
have your carrot juice, Julian. Yes, mom. Of course.
Oh, yeah, I
Still,
need to
still
get
back.
a good juice. Olivia, where are you?
I'm in Montreal, the opposite of Julian's, where he is nice and hot.
I was just going to say quite opposite in temperature there.
Yeah. What about you?
I'm in Ibiza and it is absolutely pouring it down with rain.
Really?
Yeah, I was there in October, and it was kind of a nice month.
Yeah.
But yeah, things go a little darker after and rainier.
Yeah, we've had actually up until now, it's actually been okay. And then, yeah, the last couple of days have just been, and when it rains here, it pours. It's just been like chucking it down with rain all day. But I kind of like it. There's nothing else to do in Ibiza anyway. So,
But isn't it Summit soon?
sorry.
IMS? It's not IMS soon?
IMS is in end of April.
Oh, yes. Well, no, not at all. Sorry. But there are parties. There were parties for New Year's Eve, for sure.
Yeah, there was loads happening. Amnesia opened the 30th, opened the 1st, Pasha opened on the 31st, DC10 opened on the 1st. So basically everybody opened. It was really busy, the island, actually. It was nice to see. It was strange because normally it's only just DC10 that opens on the 1st, but this year everybody decided to give it a go. Casinos, it was a weekend, so it kind of worked out well. But yeah, just the Ibiza season isn't as short as it used to be anymore. It just gets longer and longer, and it will end up just being all year round.
Well, wasn't it when we were there? It was extended, no? Like it used to end in September, now it's October, and now it's also January. They're like New Year's, so
Yeah, and there's
but
stuff happening all the time, So yeah, thank you for joining me to do the podcast.
Thank you for having us. That's very sweet of you.
No, I'm very excited. I'm very curious. Are you all both good with all the questions and everything that was sent over?
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't tell Julian about the last email that some fire questions, and there was something else you said asking about Guestlist, but
Okay.
we're fine. Honestly, we studied. We know about the festival, right, Julian? Did you study about SXM Festival? Did you read the website?
Do you know about SXM Festival?
At this point, I guess we both have a PhD in SXM Festival. You can call us doctors.
Doctors and SXM. Okay, so before we actually start talking about the story behind SXM, can you paint a picture of what the 5-day festival is like? Because we're not talking about any kind of festival here. We're talking about a festival on the beautiful island of St. Martin, the middle of the Caribbean. And I'm so curious to know how you ended up doing a festival on St. Martin and how everything began. But before we do get into that, can you describe SXM and tell us what it is that makes it so special?
I mean, ladies first, or you know.
Oh, wow. Thank you, Julian. I'll start and then Julian can add his magic because that's what Julian does. So yeah, it's a 5-day electronic music festival across the island. What makes it different than other festivals is that we pretty much take over the island. We've been told by many of the locals there that they see a huge change around that week. So a few days before, a few more people wearing black, the hats, the style, the fashion style changes. The island just all of a sudden is just so busy. We bring so many people to the island. So the goal is to not just have one location. If the island is so beautiful, we want to show it off. So really pick very unique venues around the island. So we have 8 venues that people travel throughout to experience, from Happy Bay, which is our main venue. We take over this beach. It's a 1 kilometer stretch of secluded beach, 2 stages. One is right on the beach. One is kind of a little bit more in the jungle style, really close to each other. Then we have a villa party, which is known to be the exclusive villa party, VIP only. Nice. One of the top villas on the island. How often can you party with 1,000 of your closest friends in a villa with an infinity pool, hot tub, So
wow.
there's
we did challenge people to find us a more outrageous villa party in the world. So.
And there isn't one. Nobody's come up with one up until now. Wow. Amazing.
Yeah. So that's the, with all the venues that we have, each one has something else that's unique. Our panorama event is at the highest peak, the mountain in St. Martin. So it's every day is different. Rather than having one venue, you do the same thing for 5 days.
Yeah.
Every day you make what you want. We find that our clientele is a little bit different, where they want to be very autonomous. They want to make their own schedules during the day. So some will rent a yacht during the day, another will go to Pinel Island, others will just chill at their villa or take a road trip and go into Grand Cass and experience local barbecue. So it's what you want to make it, and we help make happen.
Yeah, I mean, to add on is what you want to make it, in general, you go to a festival and you have an intention. I don't know. So many intentions you can have, to listen, catch your best DJs, their favorite music, listen to new ones, hook up, whatever it may be. There's so many, everyone has their own little mind between, but, usually most of the music festivals, they have a format that's super known, like it's, there's a general format to it. And the beauty of the SXM Festival is that there's just so much to do on the island and so many different scenarios you can put yourself into that it can be a different experience every time you want to come. People are like, oh, it's my first time, I really want to do VIP. I'm like, there's so much to do, even with like the general admission. Probably you save that for another experience, and then next time you come with VIP with a villa, first time you come with a hotel and a general admission. Probably next time you're gonna want to, there's just a million things to do. I mean, myself, I've been coming here since 2003, and I cannot say that I've had the same trip like twice. Wow. Because of the number, geographically, St. Martin is super well situated because we're right next to Anguilla, a beautiful English island, right next to St. Bart's. Obviously, everyone knows St. Bart's. We're talking like 45-minute boat ride, 10-minute like mini plane flight. And all the super mega yachts that you see across the Mediterranean during the summer, they actually all concentrate here during the winter. Wow. Like pretty much all of them here. So because of the fact that you have these ultimate luxury items, can we call them that? The services and the quality of the food and the quality of the product and everything you find here at the fingertips. So it's a place that's great for that. And also, it's super accessible. You have like 2 flights a day to go to Europe, sometimes 3 a day. And 4 flights to New York a day, 2 flights to Miami, almost a flight a day to Montreal or Toronto. And you can connect through the Midwest and the West Coast through Charlotte or Chicago. But anyways,
it's super easy to get there. To get there. So it's not just a gathering of people coming to enjoy music from all over the world. You're actually showcasing different parts of the island and making people see what different things that the island has to offer, whilst being able to enjoy some of the best DJs in the world, basically.
Yeah, for sure. You know, we're all basically, I think Olivia is the only one that never DJ'd in her life. You know, all of us have always, like, we've been doing this for since the 90s, you know. It's like we're DJs, music producers. You know, we started raving mid 90s, literally, and Ibiza early 2000s. We were there at the first double, not the first, but the double or 2000 WMCs, and you know we were there at the inception of a lot of festivals that grew, like, you know, the BPM, for example, you know, and we were at Burning Man in 2010. So, you know, all these experiences, they kind of built up to influencing how you put them all into one project. So I think, you know, most of inventions are two ideas combined together. So
Absolutely. Yeah. How did it start then? When did this idea of organizing a festival on St. Martin begin, and what were the first steps?
It always starts with a crazy idea and a lot of innocence. No, you know, sometimes when if you would have known how hard and complicated things would have been, you probably would have not done them. So I'm happy to be the innocent person here that, you know, just have big dreams and be like, we're gonna do a festival and we're gonna bring people onto this island and it's gonna change the face of it and it's gonna better the economy and it's gonna be amazing. And then it's like, oh wow, oh whoa. Wow, fuck my life. That shit is hard. But it's easy when you're surrounded by amazing people. So the story behind it is 2003, the 30th of December, I fly in to for the first time.
Mm-hmm.
And it was New Year's Eve, the 31st. It was New Year's Eve. And the second I got, like, damn, this place is amazing. It had really good party vibes, countless beach clubs, you know, obviously accessibility, absolute natural beauty. It's one of the places where nature interacts with every day, but in a beautiful way. You know, it's like, oh wow, a rainbow pops, or like, I don't know, it's like it's very luxuriant. You know, a lot of flowers, a lot of you know, it's just really beautiful. So but still, it's fun that to have the beauty of it. It's fun that the water is blue, and like perfect blue turquoise, but you know, without accessibility and without some infrastructures like, you know, culture of music and beach clubs, etc., it would have not been possible. So all that was there. But back then in 2004, 2005, 2006, for sure I did not have the maturity or experience to be able to pull that off once. Absolutely not. But still, that's where the idea already came from, just by landing there. A bit later in 2006, I wanted to try to see if it was possible, but back then no one would travel to events. You know, there was no one. Coachella was just 2006. We just heard that Coachella had Daft Punk headlining, and the show was dope. And then this is kind of when people said, like, oh, Coachella, California, travel. So Coachella kind of, you know, started moving things. And then next thing you know, Bonnaroo is there. And next thing you know, you start hearing about all those festivals popping until Burning Man. Oh, wow. I mean, I had heard of it before because some friends had been, but I still haven't thought, oh, I'm just going to go in the desert, eat dust for a week. At that point, I didn't know dust was that delicious. I didn't know dust was that delicious either. All right. I had no idea I love it that much. So move forward to that point, the project was like, it's not possible. No one's going to travel there, and there's not enough local people to support the event. So, you know, obviously here people are really much into rumba, soca, reggae, and so that, you know, it was not, it just didn't make sense. So fast forward again, like, you know, in the meanwhile, we did a bunch of million other things that acquired the experience on top to be able to get closer to the festival, to be able to not just like imagine we're going to do a party, but to actually be able to pull it off, you know. So a million things from DJing, producing, to operating bars, to promoting in clubs, to play, you know, it's like everything kind of led to the point where, and I grew up on a you know, in the hotel business and travel industry. So at the end of the day, it seems that when in 20, so Coachella pops up, Burning Man pops up, people start traveling. 2014, I'm like, ooh, I think it's time. So that's it. 2015, January 2015 started really organizing, building the crew to be able to throw it in March 2016, the first edition.
So you started 2015 at the beginning, and then a year later is when the first one was held.
Yeah.
Olivia, have you been working with Julian from the very beginning?
Yeah, I started off, I was there for the first one and really came into the team, I'd say, on the second one. Very different vibe and atmosphere, I would say. It was very much, all planning and thinking and what are we going to do and what's next. And now I feel we've evolved to such a degree that we have it so together. It's so tight that we're able to all go off and really excel at everything that we do. It's taken us all those years, I'd say, to really get the formula down. So it's been, every year has been an adventure. People coming in and helping us grow this. And at the end of the day, Julian, like, I don't know how he does it, but it just takes guts. I'm saying guts, but we usually use a different word for that. Yeah,
but we use it mostly when it comes to disco, right?
Yeah,
exactly.
Like that should be his title, because it really takes that for every time that every year there was something else, some other type of I don't know, obstacle.
Yeah.
That wanted
even just then, the space evolves every year. It's a different ball game. We have to reinvent ourselves every year. Yeah. No matter what happens.
Yeah, and I guess from year after year, you learn from things that probably didn't work as well, and you change things just for the better and evolve through what you see doesn't work in past editions, I guess.
Yeah,
absolutely. Whatever works, you don't change. But when it comes to a festival, this is what's kind of interesting about it. It's pretty much everything that revolves around it, whether it's the people and the professionals you meet along the way, or the people, just like you, that we're connecting together right now. It's not necessarily in context of operating the festival, but like, it's crazy how a festival is interesting, not because of the festival itself, but everything that gravitates around it. We discovered amazing new talent in so many different sectors of business or music, that it's very stimulating to be part of an event like that.
How many people attended the first edition?
2,200.
2,200. And how many
which was a lot for a first edition.
It is a lot. 2,200 is a lot of people, especially as you said, it was that time when people probably started, traveling a lot more as well. That for a very first one that nobody's ever attended, and on an island where I'm going to guess there'd never been festivals before.
Excuse me, I didn't understand you.
I'm going to guess that in St. Martin there hadn't been any electronic music festivals there before.
Oh, no. There was some bit in the Caribbean, like I know Dominican Republic and this, but mostly was like resort-based events with clientele that was already there. Well, we can say that Playa del Carmen is somewhat on the Caribbean, but it's on land.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
But even the music itself, like, I find from our first year to now, what a change. Like, back then there was pushback with the music, and now there's all these artists, local artists, that keep the vibe going all year round with electronic music. All these like venues that are playing it. It's a norm. Saturday night you have techno and electro at one place, then another place you have underground. It's become the norm. And if you ask some of the artists, I speak with them quite often, they're like, it was SXM Festival that really broke through and brought it to the island to this level.
It's like the early days of a new destination for electronic music. It's really like the festival didn't really create the scene, because it did create the scene, but I don't like to take too much credit for anything, because it's often a matter of so many different things for it to actually give birth, but definitely pushed it forward. And yeah, it started, there was not really any electronic music regular parties, and now there are many, which is amazing. So when people come on the island out of the festival, like let's say any other month that it's not, they want to come back for a vacation, a weekend or whatever, like they still can find electronic music based products, which is great. And every year it's been growing. in popularity across the island. And even the the locals who were into soca reggae, soca is like 140 BPM. It's like it's not that strange to electronic music. So they're starting to understand like that this is a global music that is global in terms of disregards your race, disregards your culture,
Yeah.
disregards your ethnicity or sexual orientation. It's a very very universal music. So everyone loves it at the end of the day, and yeah.
That was actually going to be one of my questions. What is the local music scene like in St. Martin? And how did they react to the very first edition if there wasn't so much of a scene there at the beginning? Was everybody really involved, or how was it at the beginning with the local people?
So to put on a show, we needed like a sound provider, we needed a light provider, we needed but it was really complicated to find on the first year. The equipment they had was not really what we were looking for. They did not, some of the operators, it was kind of like we wanted to offer such like a standard in terms of production that we're already used to work with certain technicians. So we figured that it was like easier to just bring our crew and just to have the sonography that we really wanted, you know.
Mm.
But still, I mean, we still found many ways to collaborate with the communities locally. The first year we had a sponsorship for tennis, not ping pong, ping pong tables that we had them branded SXM, and we made some towels, and then we gifted that to a school. So that
Okay.
was kind of our first community move that we did. And also, we worked with local providers, to clean the beach, to set up to take the seaweed away, to set up we got some local people to help us. But the first year happened like like the production was it was so complicated to put together that um I would say that we started in January, so we didn't even have time to promote it on St. Martin actually. So
Mm.
really, like back then, those 2,200 people were pretty much coming from everywhere else but the island, and people were like, "Why is there noise on that beach?" Like,
What's going on over there?
we were so busy trying to bring people from outside that we didn't even get to bring in people from St. Martin. So the word came out a bit like, oh, a techno festival, and then next thing you know, we hire even more people local. We have more partnership with local companies, and obviously we get better at because you need to improve every year. But for us, it was super important to have good local support, and we always believe that when the success will be the success of the festival will rely majorly on getting the locals and excited, working with local communities, and to get that support system. It's kind of super important that everyone gets involved,
Yeah.
but sometimes it takes a little bit of time to find all the right elements and how to put them all together without with keeping the standard of production. Like, it's a very small island. There's 80,000 people for sure. They don't have stage managers that do
Yeah.
all these little things. So
Yeah. And in terms of like production and equipment and things that you need to set up a stage, do you have that shipped over, or are there places that provide that on the island already? Or do you store stuff already for like from year after year?
So we started by renting locally and flying things that were not available on the island. And every year, we try to envision what would make sense to invest in. And of course, so we bought all of our sound.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and we have many containers now with some decoration, lights, electric. So we're pretty much independent, because at first SXM Festival was really envisioned to be a nomadic event, to travel with. So let's say it fits in 6 containers and we can just go anywhere, set up camp, and
Yeah.
some like the idea was to be like nomadic. But for sure we had a couple I would say fermer la porte, s'il te plaît. Je suis dans un bumps along the path. You know, probably we can talk about Irma. It was quite devastation. The devastation was like incredible, and it was quite a traumatic experience. I think probably Olivia can talk about this. You know.
Yeah. I even remember exactly where I was when this happened. It was super unbelievable. We were working on a partnership with Yacht Week, and I was away trying to figure out logistics and learn what they're doing. And we're sitting in the yacht, and they're running through everything. They have these plans, and we have these other people on the calls of what yachts are we going to bring? We're going to do a cool yacht experience. And next thing I know, they show me a picture of all of their yachts destroyed. Yeah, I don't think we can do this next year. And just in that moment, and honestly, I realized to what degree this is more than a festival to me and to everybody on the team. It's about the island. Like it felt as if my home was destroyed. Julian wasn't living there fully at the time, so I know for him it wasn't just a sadness about, oh no, we can't do the festival, or how are we going to do
everything?
It's not, is it going to be the same? Is it going to look the same? Like, so it was very sad.
Every time we're struck with adversity, I'm so proud of us, because you know, like when that happened, we went from like festival organizers, you know, and event planners, coordinators, you know, so whatsoever, to like literally we switched our team and we became
Part of the
how do you call it?
Community.
You know, we started, okay, what do? We have to fund money. We have to take care of the kids. We have to. Yeah. So we turned into like a fundraiser organization, and like a question of minutes. For sure, I emotionally was really hard. You know, I mean, the way things were going, the third year we're going to sell it out. We had so much wind in our sails, and you know, when there's good velocity and traction in a startup, how things are exciting, and you're like, oh my.
Yeah.
Cool, like amazing, like we did our cards right, we worked so hard, like to the point where we didn't even know our names, you know, like it's crazy how hard we worked, and it was out of passion and love. I mean, to be honest, like, I mean, I've never experienced being high naturally before. like I got creatively working on this SXM Festival. I mean, it was like I literally felt high. Like how crazy is that? Like it's amazing. But you know, sometimes, you know, literally shit happens, and when it rains it pours, and so on and so forth. The island was destroyed. Everyone, you know, we try to push it through forward because we're pushers and we're movers, but you know, what happened, and now, you know, everything happens for a reason. Now the whole island was remodeled, renovated, new apartments, new rental cars, new hotels, new vibes, new restaurants, new clubs, new everything. So everything feels new now, you know, which is like kind of what's good about it. But
I bet
definitely when the hurricane hit, it was devastating for everyone. You know?
I bet that really brought you a lot closer to the local community as well.
I feel that we've been part of it for a while as well, you know. And you know, every project has to have a bigger reason to we didn't do this festival to you know, the idea was not, oh, we're gonna get rich, or oh, we're gonna be superstars, or oh, whatever, it's gonna be cool, we're gonna be cool. We like, that was never the point of doing the festival. First, we're passionate about music, for sure, we have to do it because that's our life, but it was also to promote the island, and to and we know how festivals have an impact on social economy, you know, so on local economy. So that was really like the main motivation, was to rejuvenate the island's social image in terms of online, and to stimulate the local economy with something different, and with something cultural. So yeah, that was our motivation. I'm proud that it always stayed that way. You know?
When I had the initial call with Olivia about doing this podcast, that was one of the main thing that stuck in my mind from the very beginning. She said, we are a family that love what we do. We work with the local community. And that's why I was really interested in talking to you guys as well, because obviously we know there's so many festivals around the world, but I think becoming part of a local community and having a purpose, and the purpose not just being we're going to throw some parties, that is the most special thing about it. So now I understand everything after what you've just said.
I feel that, you know, we've always had a mentality of sustainability. I'm sorry to every auditor right now. I'm super French, so sometimes my English is like a little shaky. My mom is French and my dad is French, so I'm double French. But yeah, I mean, you know, sometimes, do you belong to the world? In this cold world? But no, you know what? Like, I think that you have to have a good purpose, and it's a way of acting in sustainability in our decorations, sustainability in our relationships, sustainability in everything. That's kind of a motto that we.
Our big thing is leave the island more beautiful than the found it.
I love that. I love that.
So in everything we do, you know, if we do, a lot of people come in March and then we'll leave mid-March. But what does it look like when we leave? That's important to us. No trace is one thing, but we do want to leave a trace, a good trace.
A good trace, yeah. A happy trace. If you could choose 2 highlights since the festival started each, which would they be? I know that's a big question because I'm sure you have so many.
I have a highlight every year, and Julian knows what the highlight is. The last moment of the festival, I live for that. The last track, being on the stage with Julian and our team, you know, and just absorbing the vibes of everybody out there, the really good vibes, and just feeling like, first of all, wow, we did it. Like, God, but also just that moment to share together. We're not always able to be side by side. We work very remotely, so coming together to the island is one thing, and then sharing that moment, to me it's super special. And last year, I'd say, and I don't think we got it really well on camera, which I regret, but Julian, you want to maybe tell that moment what happened with the people?
No, that happened quite last. You know, when you envision a party like that, you envision moments and you kind of work hard to get them. And one of the moments I think we've all envisioned was like people in front of the stage, just like, you know, and just like feel that energy of like perfect like exchange between the front and you know, it's tough to explain, but yeah, people literally were banging on the stage for like 15 minutes at the end of the festival, rapping, and it was like kind of, yeah, I don't know. It's like a project that
they were like, one more track. They wanted the last track, and we're like, but it needs to end. It's 5 a.m. We can't. And I remember looking at Christelle because she has to make the call, and I look at her, I'm like, just one more. And she looks at me and she's like, just one more go. And you see the crowd just got so excited that one track was just gold to them, gold to all of us, and that to me was probably one of the top memories of all the festivals even.
Wow, that very last moment. I bet you're all together as well in family, and just having that adrenaline rush of we've done it, and seeing everybody so happy must be the best feeling ever.
Yeah. Well, this is the only. I mean, you know, I think that the feelings you have, you go through in the adventure are very different for everyone, you know. But when you organize it, you go. It's like a roller coaster and at some point you get all the feelings at once, and you just don't know how. You know, you're happy, you're sad, you're excited, you're nervous, and it all happens in one feeling. For me, that feeling is something that I've never experienced, but organizing this crazy, beautiful, exciting event, and that's what I'm grateful for, to be able to have these. It makes me, you know, when you feel alive doing something, it means you're doing the right thing, and and to me, this is what's special. But it's very personal. But in terms of highlight, there was you know, so many. I don't know which one to pick.
You're on the island now. Can you already feel the buzz and the excitement on the island since you stepped foot on it?
I think I feel it abroad, to be honest.
Really?
I really feel it abroad, like it's funny, like last year it was such a, we're coming out of the pandemic and we still wanted to organize it. It was a big, so anything could have happened. A lot of organizers decided, oh no, we're gonna wait till the next year, but we're like, oh no, we're gonna go for it. And I felt, and I was so busy with trying to putting things up together with the production that I wasn't, I couldn't understand the buzz that was happening in the first night. And that's actually my last. It's funny that your highlight is the last moment of the festival. My highlight is the first day. I mean, I have no expectation of what's coming. No expectation, because anyways, I just focused on delivering and opening and making sure there's music on time everywhere. And the first day of the festival last year, Wednesday, was like the Saturday we always wish we had. So that's how it started. And I was like, yeah, because I was sitting down with my family about 2 months or 2 months and a half before the festival happened, and we're still in pandemic. And we sat me down. They're like, Julian, we see you working so hard on this, and we're concerned about you being deceived or sad, or but you have to start putting in your mind that there won't be a festival this year. And I looked at everyone and I said, well, it's kind of time for you guys to put in your mind that it's going to be the best festival we've ever had.
And it was.
And it was. So great, super grateful for it. I'm grateful for people like Olivia to be part of it, people like Driss, the booker, to be part of it, and also to have my sister, Christelle, on our side, and Clara and Victor and so many other amazing people that we work with. Shout out to all of the teams that we've been collaborating with the festival. No one can say I do a festival. It's the biggest lie ever. No one can do it without a proper team, and I'm really proud of that.
Like when Julian talks about the team, literally I start getting goosebumps, because there isn't a day I wake up where I don't feel so grateful and excited to actually start work, because I like the people that I work with. And we even message each other randomly. Oh, I love you. Can't wait to see you. I miss you. Things are good. When it's stressful, and Julian even knows there was stressful time, he sends me this amazing message and just puts everything into perspective. And it's like, oh yeah, okay, everything's good, so we have each other's backs pretty much on everything. And he was saying that he feels it not just on the island, but he feels it everywhere. I do a lot of more in-house office computer planning, organizing. My emails are blowing up, so I know something's going on. It just, I can't keep up with how many people are emailing partnerships. We want to do something else, we want to come in, we want to influence, like I literally maybe 200-300 emails a day of just nonstop things happening, and meetings. Everybody woke up, so the lineup dropped, and Julian can attest to this. It's just like insane. So yeah, it's grown a lot.
But you're also excited to be together as well. If you're some of you are working remotely, or being together and actually being on site must be very exciting times for you all.
Well, I was excited to see her on Zoom, because I feel like we have a cloud-based relationship where it's quite futuristic,
but when we're together, Julian, come on, we make up for it.
Good times.
Yeah. Good times and bad times, because festivals, you have to have really big nerves.
Yes.
And when we did the festival, anyways, the pandemic hit in North America on the day we kicked things off. It was very panicking, and we were all very, worried.
Well, the pandemic kicked off the day that you guys started.
Yeah.
Whoa.
The official date, March 11th.
No.
You want to? Okay, so most memorable moments. That would be
that one.
Really, like the first day of the festival. Is that really the one?
Yeah.
Yeah, imagine spending a year planning every single moment of a festival, all of the changes,
No, I can't.
schedules, and every day hearing that in France, capacities are dropping, all of this news, and you're a day after, so it comes to you after, so you're anticipating it, and you have to make shift. And I don't think I've ever been so sick in my stomach, yet oddly enjoying the moment because it's exciting, there's a challenge. But I do remember on the Saturday we were doing the villa party, and we had a presidential moment. Julian, I don't know if you remember this, but we're sitting inside at the villa party doing interviews with press. And it's me, Julian, a couple of other people. And as we're answering, somebody comes and just whispers in our ear. And I'm like, thank you very much. We will have to ask you to leave. The interviews are over. We appreciate it. Thank you.
Please remain calm. Yeah, we had a lot of, we've had adventures like, I need a cigar boat now, and we're like on the cigar boat, like braving the ocean at night to get to go save the party. And now I was like, I was with Clara at that time. I'm like, I really hope next year we can pull the helicopter card. But it feels like an awesome mission. But to talk about less fun things, yeah, the pandemic was like, but imagine being stuck in literally in an organizer's nightmare, and at that time was one of our founding members, Nick DeCosimo was with us, and Nick DeCosimo has quite a lot of media experience. He's been working with us since the beginning, and that has been quite of an important card for the festival, because it got positioned really quick as like an important event, and that's because there was quite a lot of work done on the media side of things. So and obviously, who says media says crisis management. So there was we still had some experienced people to be able to say, okay, so how do we communicate this? How do we keep people calm? And I remember Nick had played a big role in communicating him calmly. But what was crazy was that despite it was the end of the world, despite we didn't know if everyone was gonna die, we all remained calm, and there was still a couple high fives, and we remained calm, which is quite amazing. I was really, really proud of us.
Wow, you guys have gone through a hurricane and a global pandemic since you started. Wow.
And also we pulled off a festival that no one has been able to pull. To be honest, when you look at the Fire Festival situation, you're like, it's quite pathetic, because how did they get so famous for not doing it? And that, we've been doing this. How do you think we filmed the first teaser? Like we had models on the beach. We were drinking too, having fun. Like the sometimes I look at it and I'm like, okay, like, it's crazy how, the similarities on both projects, although like, I'm gonna abstract saying something negative about that. But my point is that no matter what they did, we did it, and we pulled it off. And whatever we promised was delivered. And we have the dope villas, we have the dope French chefs, Michelin star style on the beach. We have everything that we have, and at this point, yeah, it's kind of crazy that it's not recognized like as hard as something that failed, but that's another story.
Let's talk about this edition this year, happening between the 8th and the 12th of March. Tell us a little bit about the lineup and what this edition has to offer.
For us, all DJs are big. It's like we don't. For sure, there's others that deserve, that made it bigger. But I think, like, the way we actually build our lineups, they just have to make sense. Really make sense musically. It's not because the DJ is more popular than another one that he should necessarily close the night. If his music is a bit less intense, we'll still put someone more intense after him. You understand what I mean? Like we do the program like a DJ would build a set, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So we DJs at the end. That's how we see it, and we try to make a storyline from the first day to Sunday to build the intensity of everything. So music, lights, production, everything. It starts Wednesday, and there's a super crescendo to the closing, and this is why. I mean, you shouldn't miss a minute of it, because honestly, it's the whole thing is awesome, and I hate the fact that I have to be in an office sometimes and I can't get to the main grounds like as early as I would to enjoy it myself. I'm jealous of everyone that comes to the festival to enjoy it. Ugh. So we have black coffee is going to be announced. Yeah. Well, is announced. Black coffee. We have black coffee.
We have black coffee?
Yeah. No sugar, no milk.
Yeah, they weren't available.
Yeah, they want that.
Nice
That's
one.
a good one.
I'm sure we laugh like it's the first time that joke's been done. Like,
I know, like it's never.
or it's just
a good
good
one
every
though.
time. Oh my god. Okay. We have local dice.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Noxia coming back. Parallel, Sean Doran, Paulo Rocco, Natalia Roth, Maga as well. Kadosh, Emmanuel Satis coming back. DJ Jean-Pierre. I mean, I've known this guy forever. You know, he's
Jean-Pierre.
such a sweetheart.
Such a sweetheart.
Such a passionate dude. And
he's so sweet.
Crazy. I've known him since the like early 2000s. So I'm really actually, sometimes it's like feels full circles, and that's when I appreciate it. And I'm really excited for him to come. I know he's gonna be I know he's super happy to. Arika, Ameme, Apollonia, Archie Hamilton, Asaf Samuel, DJ Tennis, Carlita, Audiofly, Black Coffee, Camel Fat, Chaim, Dear Jade, Demi Riquissimo. If you don't know that guy, check him out. Crazy production, super dope. Of course, our favorite doctor, Doc Martin.
Doc Martin, love him. Great guy.
The best. Dubfire Ali, who has played for us so many times, and that he's like big brother to us. We're always so happy to have him. Emmanuel Satsi, Francesca Lombardo, that haven't been able to be with us because she was pregnant for a couple of years. So now she's back. So excited to welcome her back with us. Gene on Earth, Gordo, who's been coming since 2019. Yeah. So that's great to have him back as well. He brings in a lot of good energy, and he's going to do a showcase this year. Jean-Pierre, we just spoke about. Genia Tarsol, which literally had his first international gig at our festival. Our friend Chaim was like, I need to come with Genia. Like, I don't know. He's like, no, like, he really pushed for it. Like, okay. And then, we fell in love with him, and they had their first back-to-backs on the beach stage. And since then, it's been a thing. After this, we have Constantine Thibault, who last year literally came and almost burnt everything down, and then left with a smile. It was like, okay, you proved your point. We're good. We're good. And then obviously local dice, Maga, Maher Daniel, Marco Carolla, Mita Gani, the new sensation, Moshak.
Moshak, yes.
That'll be funky. And Moody Jones, Miss Mada from Space, super great DJ. Good DJ, that girl. Paulo Rocco, Montreal, represent. Parallel, of course, which is nice. I have a lot of really good new music. Paso Doble, incredible artist as well, impeccable everything. Very much of he's got it down to a science. So it's really fun to hear. Raresh, Rossi. Finally, we get Rodriguez Jr. We've been wanting him for a long time. He's coming live. And Sean Doran, of course. The Mystic Sis will be with us. Sis. And we also have a super cool documentary that we shot with Sis. Like
Ah,
that is coming out.
cool.
Yeah, to put a little light on the artist. It's an artist that had never done an interview in 15 years. He's never given it.
Wow, I bet there's some great content in there.
Yeah, and surprising stuff too. Things that you wouldn't, it's fun to get personal with artists, you get to understand them and their
Yeah.
music better.
Especially if they don't do interviews. I love that.
First time ever. I was like, this was your first interview. It showed. No, I'm just joking. No, I'm just joking. And then obviously Sonia Munir, Lord, how can you say?
Wow.
And Tony, why not? Too. That live duo guitar, super nice on Dynamic, from Paris. And Yoko is back. So that's phase 1 and 2. We still have big surprises, but we've been trying to make people understand that they just need to trust us. Just trust us. Stop asking questions. It's gonna be great. Trust us.
Wow. Even
Really.
it's gonna be absolutely amazing. That is a really special lineup, and I'm sure with everything mixed together, the place, the production, the vibes that you guys give, the whole family thing together, and all of that music, it's gonna be fantastic. Sounds absolutely amazing. Exciting times ahead. Very exciting times ahead. Just to finish off, would you guys do a quick round of quick fire questions?
Ladies first.
Oh no, I want Julian to do it so I know the questions first.
Well, okay, no, how about I say the question and you both just answer at the same time, and then just let's see what's answered. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It works.
All right, ready? Sunrise or sunset sets?
Sunset.
Oh yeah. I don't know. I love both equally. I love both equally. I can't say. But yeah, I love both equally. And for very different reasons.
Okay. Best hangover cure?
More alcohol.
Okay, mine.
Hair of the dog.
You would think. Mine is kind of gross to some people. A glass of Coca-Cola with ice on an empty stomach the morning after. I feel great after.
Wow.
I agree with you there. And a slice of lemon. I'm with you on that one.
And I'm good.
But so Julian, what you said, if you have a cold beer with a hangover, that is actually really good. I think.
I learned that here undeniably is be brave and jump in the water in the sea. It really helps. That's the really real thing that really cures it.
Yeah.
Okay.
You can have a Coke after if you enjoy a Coke. It's fine.
Yeah. The last thing that you Googled.
Oh, Lord.
Is the last Googled? I have to see. I don't know.
Oh, for me, it was LED lights.
LED lights. Okay. We know what you're working on.
Yeah, exactly. And for me, it for sure was something to do with flights and who I'm bringing from where.
And ask me that Sunday morning.
The DJ with the best dance moves is
Mr. G. We all know that.
No, Julian Prince.
Do you have dance moves, Julian Prince?
I don't know. It depends. When I'm in the mood, my butt goes in all directions. I can't control it. It's tiring. It's very tiring.
And my final question, because the podcast is called Can You Put Me on Guest List? Do you have a guest list rule?
This is a very touchy question for the new world in 2022. Everything gotten so expensive that, I believe that everyone should chip in for a party if they want the party to keep on existing. Like, festivals are cultural events. They're not like, okay, there's Coachella and there's big events like that, but for small boutique events, they're really made of passion, and and it's not something that's like made for economic reasons. So I feel that the real flex is to pay full price for your ticket. That's the real flex. Honor this. But it seems that people have always a need of status, and I got in on the guest list. The guest list is not cool anymore. Okay, the cool thing is to pay and to be proud to contribute for this to keep on happening. Now, for sure, there's industry guests, wives, things that are sponsors, media. It's normal because that's part of the industry. But in general, I mean, you got to be proud to contribute to something great, and it gives value to people who work hard in this industry, who risk so much to entertain you, and I think it's something to honor more than anything.
I love that answer. Brilliant answer. And I couldn't agree with you more. It's the cool thing now is to pay. It's not to say I'm coming on the guest list. Yeah, absolutely 100%.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, if you know the organizers, there's always a little extra attention we can do for the friends and everything. But my friends, are always happy to support, and I respect that. And I don't know. Anyways,
yeah. I get you. I get
you.
you.
Hurt anyone here? Sorry.
No. I get you.
Hurt your feelings. It was not my intention.
Olivia, do you have a guest list rule?
I'm lucky that all of my friends actually just say, hey, what's the best ticket I should buy? Do you have a promo code or something like that? Otherwise, it's really difficult, but we're good friends. But come on, I think we've set the tone, especially over the past few years, of these are the ticket prices. And I think some people have this option of, but it costs you nothing to give away a free ticket. There is a cost. We put a lot of time and there's a lot of investment to make it happen. So there are costs. And I feel also we're surrounded with a lot of people who get that. Yeah. And then let's say the people who maybe aren't close to us and see it a different way. Well, it's a lot easier to say no to those people because I don't really know you, right?
Absolutely.
Well, let's just say as well that the festival, it's like to come for 5 days is about the price of one Tulum party. Like we're not expensive, so why to get 5 days of program, and there's pre and after parties, literally almost 8 or 9 days of partying for $350. I mean, even VIPs around $650, maximum $700. I mean, literally, like it's not a ticket that's outrageously expensive for what we offer in return. So
yeah,
it's easy. Julian, Olivia, thank you so much for this lovely hour. It's been so great to chat with you both. I'm so excited for you both. Everything you've been saying, I've just been picturing it all in my head. You're going to have the best time, and hopefully I can be there too.
Well, maybe we'll get you guest list.
Maybe your industry, and maybe this is fine.
Don't tell anyone.
Maybe there's no rules for guest lists. Just some things make sense, and some others don't, like everything else in the world.
I'll send you over my name later on an email.
Don't tell me.
Put in the last name of your +1. Okay. All right, listen, I have a lot of carrot juice to drink and
hangover cure, carrot juice. There you go.
And ginger. I thank
you
for your interest in our little big project.
No, thank you guys for everything that you do, for spending this time with me also, and I will see you soon.
See you soon. Thank you.
Bye.